From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening, Fairbanks, and thanks for joining us. I'm Stephanie Woodard. Daryl Clark has the evening off. Our top story tonight, Fairbanks City Police and fire officials are investigating the cause of a fast-moving structure fire that destroyed a home in the Aurora subdivision. Firefighters got the call around 2:15 p.m. responding to 1825 Esquire Avenue. According to Fairbanks City Assistant Fire Chief Ernie Meswitz, flames were coming from the garage area, spreading to large spruce trees. City Fire got mutual aid assistance from University of Alaska and the Fort Wainwright Fire Departments. Smoke from the fire could be seen for miles. The occupants of the large structure were not home when the fire broke out, and no injuries were reported. A direct cause of the fire remains unknown.
I guess you live across the street. You saw flames, saw smoke.
We heard a bang and came outside and it was fully engulfed.
Yeah, what went through your mind when you saw that?
That we should call 911. I was paranoid that it was gonna come over here.
You called 911?
Mm-hmm.
When we got on scene, we had heavy fire in the attic area and on the back side of the house. It's very dry outside. We had a pretty good wind blowing, so it did go over there and catch some of the dried grass and brush on fire along the side of the house. Fortunately, we didn't really damage any exposures. Most of the damage is confined to the house itself.
Firefighters were also called out to a structure fire near Pearl Creek Elementary School off of Farmers Loop Road. Details are still sketchy as of news time. The news center will have more on that incident as information becomes available. Flooding on the Yukon River has left the city of Galena and surrounding areas completely inundated. Those evacuated from these surrounding areas to Fairbanks have taken shelter at the Housing First facility. The news center was there today and spoke to some of the evacuees.
Yes, I've been through 4 floods there now.
Is this
This is the worst I've ever seen.
We waited and waited because we thought maybe we could stay, but we had to get out for our life.
I feel pretty sad that we have no home and we lost everything.
The survivors gathered in the lobby of the Housing First facility to discuss their next steps after being suddenly evacuated from their homes and all their possessions. The impact has also been felt by young rural residents who fear not only for their homes, but family left behind. Is her mom not here?
No, yeah, she's in Galena still.
She stayed in Galena?
Yes.
So, have you had any contact with her?
No.
Are you afraid for her?
Kind of. But I know she's safe in school.
Is she the only one there?
No, there's other people
a few
there.
more people.
Yeah.
But she stayed behind?
Yeah.
Why did she stay behind?
I don't know. I never asked her.
Pretty brave woman, though.
Yeah.
So you're here with your friends and friends of your family taking care of you?
Yeah.
15 years old, something pretty big to go through, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Are you holding up okay?
Kind of.
I can only
The
imagine.
fact that your mom is there, it's very obvious. It's got you pretty emotional and also very worried. Talk to me about that.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's just scary that the school is gonna get flooded and she's gonna probably be up on the school and stuff.
I was at the airport last night and watching. I was there with my mom and my eldest sister.
Well, he was in Anchorage when he was.
I wasn't there when it happened, but I saw the pictures. I've heard stories from my family. It's unbelievable. The place where I grew up and lived is completely underwater. It's heartbreaking.
As we were there at the shelter, the residents also discussed the ice jam breaking, and the flooding is now headed towards Koyukuk. The news center will keep you up to date on the flooding situation. Joe Miller has made it official. He's running for the U.S. Senate again. Miller filed paperwork with the Federal Election Commission earlier this month. In his statement of candidacy, Miller listed Citizens for Joe Miller as his principal campaign committee. He will run against Senator Mark Begich, who filed for re-election last summer. In April, Miller launched an exploratory committee for the 2014 election. In 2010, he won the primary. However, he lost to Senator Lisa Murkowski, who won the general election via write-in votes. Lieutenant Governor Meade Treadwell is also considering a run for the Senate seat.
The reason that I'm still engaged at this point is because I know that if people if statesmen don't get engaged, that are willing to actually stand up to the corruption, stand up to the ruling class. I mean, really what we have here is a situation where the ruling class determines who represents you. I mean, that's what we saw in 2010, where the establishment, those in power, say, we know what's best for you. But the Joe Miller that I want people in Alaska to understand is one that has children that are in the game, that absolutely want to have a future, and that the reason I'm driven politically is to make sure that they do have a future, that the people in the state have a future, that we have jobs, and that we have a home that we can be proud of and be secure in.
Well, it's been a hot and dry day, and Mike Schultz is joining us for our first look at weather. Mike.
Hey, you're right. The key word is hot. Temperatures, again, around the upper 80 degree temperatures, and it's going to continue, it looks like, into Friday. And we'd also like to say a special welcome to all the people that are here from Galena. You definitely have our sympathies of what's going on up there. And as far as what's going on right here, temperature-wise, around the interiors, you can see temperatures, once again, very consistent. Cloudy skies in Delta Junction, 74. That's why it's cooler there. Otherwise, the temperatures in the low 80s everywhere you look. A little bit warmer, actually a little bit cooler around the Denali Park area, 69 degrees there and 81 degrees in Nenana. Now in the lower 48, lots of storms to talk about. Some of them are responding tornadoes. We'll talk about all the weather in more detail later on. Stephanie?
Thank you, Mike. All right, when we come back, special recognition for the Cancer Center in Fairbanks and a family-run fun day at the firing range. That's our military report. Those stories are next. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Fairbanks Evening News. Earlier this month, Fairbanks Memorial Hospital opened their new J. Michael Carroll Cancer Center, and already they have received an award for outstanding achievement. The American College of Surgeons acknowledged the center for its excellence in providing quality care to cancer patients. Fairbanks Memorial Hospital is one of only 79 U.S. healthcare facilities with accredited cancer programs to receive this prestigious honor. The program was evaluated on 29 standards categorized within one of 4 cancer program activity areas.
It's the first time ever anybody's gotten one in Alaska, and it's something to be very, very proud of. It requires a lot of work on the part of the physicians, the tumor registrar, and the entire team to put together a whole spectrum of support for our cancer patients to see that they get the best of treatment possible, either here or on referral to other centers when necessary.
Pioneer Park is open and the summer season is in full swing. Today we take our weekly look at what's happening at Pioneer Park. Today we're going to start looking at all of the transportation museums located here inside the park. Now there's 3 main museums, the Air Museum, the Railroad Museum, and located right behind me is the Riverboat Nenana. Now let's start with that one. Come on. The Riverboat Nenana is the 2nd largest wooden vessel in the world. She's also the only stern wheeler of her type left intact. Now around the Riverboat Nenana is a diorama that contains over 100,000 pieces. Housed inside the Golden Dome is the Pioneer Air Museum. Inside this museum are numerous different aircrafts from different eras. Also inside the museum is the wreckage from Ben Eilson's plane when he went down in Siberia. Fun fact, each piece in the museum is donated. Inside the Tanana Valley Train Museum is Friends of the Valley Steam Engine No. 1, which is actually older than the city of Fairbanks. Also housed in this museum are different train memorabilia, train facts, and souvenirs you can take home with you. You can also come on in, buy a ticket, and take a ride on the train. Today's vendor spotlight is on souvlaki, specializing in Greek food, baklava, spinach pie, and of course, souvlaki. Now before we go, it's time for our fun trivia question of the week. The question, what is the name of the aircraft located outside of the Pioneer Air Museum? Come to the park, find out the answer, and go to our website, webcenter11.com, enter it for your chance to win. Thanks for joining us, because that's what's happening this week at Pioneer Park. You wouldn't normally think of a family fun day at a firing range, but that's what they do at Fort Wainwright. News Center 11's Monty Bowen has details in this week's military report.
The 73rd Engineer Company of the 1st Stryker Brigade Combat Team, 25th Infantry Division, and their families went to the small arms range for the event.
73rd Engineer soldiers went out to the local Fort Wainwright M4 range. The intent was that the soldiers would come out, they'd be able to qualify and zero and qualify on their M4 weapon systems. And then we're going to bring out the families, so that way the families, the spouses, the kids could actually come out and not only see what the actual soldiers are doing when they're telling their families, hey, I'm going out to the range today, but also experience it.
Family members were taken to the range in military vehicles and given the opportunity to fire weapons.
We had a modified qualification range set up for them, so that way they could actually sit on an M4 with their spouse right there and actually kind of get a feel for what it is to be an Army soldier shooting an M4 at the range.
I'll print the scores off so you guys can all have them.
Soldiers have really just been using the time to hang out with the families, get to know the spouses outside of a specific FRG meeting.
Monty Bowen, News Center 11.
The Military Report is brought to you by Stanley Nissan. Innovation for all.
And Joe Cook is joining us now, cooking up some sports. I haven't said that in a while. Cooking it up.
Yeah, cooking it up today. There's some big news coming out of Anchorage today. First, the hockey coach was axed, and now the athletic director will follow. More on that coming up. Plus, we visit the undefeated Lathrop Malamutes before they head out to the state tournament. So just stick around for some sports. Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here in the sports seat for you this evening. Hope your day has been going well. And now let's get to some sports. And now remember the saying, you don't have to go home, but you got to get up out of here. Today, UAA Chancellor Tom Case in a press release asked Athletic Director Steve Kopp to, quote, step down from his post effective immediately. This coming from an Anchorage Daily News report. Cobb has been the athletic director for UAA since 2000. This comes from outcry from the Anchorage community for Cobb's handling of recent issues. Dave Shayak was fired after 8 losing seasons for the hockey program. Cobb formed a search committee for a new hockey coach, but didn't include hockey alums or members of the hockey community. Both the UAA Hockey Alumni Association and the Alaska State Hockey Association gave a vote of no confidence for Cobb. Shack was also accused of hitting Nick Haddad during a Seawolves practice in 2011. Haddad later said that it happened, but it wasn't really a big deal and it didn't hurt. Haddad did confront Shack after practice, and the issue at that time was resolved between the two. Governor Sean Parnell even chimed in with a letter on the 23rd to University of Alaska President Patrick Gamble saying they need to, quote, take a stand. Cobb will be replaced by Senior Associate AD Tim McDeffitt until an interim athletic director is chosen. And back to the interior as we highlight the Lathrop Malamute softball team. Not too many teams can say they went undefeated unless you were a part of the 1972 Miami Dolphins team. The Malamutes are now in the conversation. This weekend they have the opportunity to continue their amazing winning streak, which is something they don't really think about. The undefeated Lathrop Malamutes practicing at Groudon Memorial Park today before heading out to the state tournament tomorrow in Anchorage. Going 18-0 was just a byproduct of a team that had one goal, and it wasn't winning every game.
That was not one of our goals. One of our goals was to be a conference champion, and we accomplished that, and now we're headed to state and try to accomplish our second goal.
They have playmakers at every position like Tina Persinger, Casey Duffield, and Sierra Olade, who are major hitters. But first baseman Selena Maxwell has a hit in every single game for Lathrop.
Well, at the beginning of the year, my goal was to hit better than I did last year. And so far I have, and it's been good to accomplish it. But also it's good to have people before me and people after me to come up and hit.
The aces are the Duffield sisters, Casey and Kimmy, the coach's daughters. They get their share of strikeouts, but it's more about what's behind them than the batter in front of them.
We also have a great defense behind us, so our second baseman has been making stellar plays. Our whole infield has been making stellar plays, so that's been really helpful. So pitching and defense has been really nice.
Lathrop has won in just about every way this year. Now it's time to take all that winning experience to the big show, the state tournament.
Just keep doing what they're doing. You know, we're hitting the ball well. We're playing great defense. The pitching's been great. Just keep doing what they're doing and just fine tune maybe our base running a little bit. We've had a little bit of problem with that this year, but the girls have been working hard, and I think we'll be okay there. And if we can put all that together, we'll have a successful tournament.
It is hump day, but there are some local sports events coming up this weekend that you can look forward to. How about Cycling for a Cause this Saturday, June 1st? You can participate in the Tour de Cure, this annual event headed by the American Diabetes Association, which raises funds towards diabetes, medical advancements, research, and of course a cure. It starts at Alaska Dog Mushers Hall, and there's a 10K route for the family and fun crowd. Check-in is at 11 and it starts at 11:30. For advanced riders, the 25K route will start at 10:30 with registration at 10 a.m. There's also a 50K route. Registration is at 8 a.m. and that race starts at 8:30. And the first thing in the morning at 7 a.m., all those Tour de France types and Lance Armstrong wannabes, minus the doping, of course, can get in on the 100K route. That starts at 7:30 a.m. this Saturday. The last day to register online is tomorrow. Also, the Fbx Cycling Club is having its Alaska Coffee Roasting Company 5-stage mountain bike event this weekend. Stage 1 is a hill climb on Friday night at Ann's Greenhouse, which starts at 7 p.m. Moose Mountain Ski Resort will have stages on Saturday, which features a 13-mile cross-country race. For more information, just go to web711.com after the show. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. For more KTF sports, just go to Twitter, YouTube, web711.com, and of course, you can get our mobile app. Stay cool, Alaska. Mike Schultz has your full weather forecast coming up next, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Fbx Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again. Taking a look at the weather, and we are talking about warm temperatures. We're also talking about low humidities, so watch out for the fire danger. It's definitely going to be a problem for the next few days. Now, a week ago, Nancy and Mark Hummel were down south of Cantwell, and they shot this photograph. You can see all the snow around. What a difference a week makes. As you can see, we're looking at snow there, but now it's all gone out of the picture. By the way, if you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to me at Mike Schultz at KTVF11.com. We're looking for some more photographs. We want to share them with the audience. Okay, let's take a look at those numbers. Out at the airport, 82 degrees. That's our high for the day. The low last night, 49. Record high, 86. 1947, 29 for the record low in 1934. Sunrise and sunset works out to 20 hours and 19 minutes of beautiful sunshine. A gain of 6.5 minutes from yesterday. Here's our satellite picture. Again, a few showers actually popping up north of the Alaska Range today, mainly south of the Delta Junction area. But as the days move on, some of this might start creeping in our direction and possibly give us an isolated shower, even maybe a light thunderstorm too. What's going on across the rest of the state? Looking at a little rain falling around the Juneau area. Otherwise, cloudy skies at Ketchikan. Lots of sunshine. Everywhere else you look, kind of windy and gray up on the north slope. At Barrow, 35 degrees. A nice day in Fort Yukon, 79 degrees. Lower 48 weather, quite a bit to talk about. Again, more showers over the Pacific Northwest. That's going to change. A lot of storminess across the Central Plains and over the Northeast. Look at the satellite and radar. As you can see, these storms just explode across parts of Kansas. And unfortunately, more tornadoes have been spawned. Also, a lot of severe weather once again in the Oklahoma City area. And this system is going to continue moving slowly to the east. Now, as you can see, we are looking at a big change happening out to the west. Blazing heat will return. Temperatures in the hundreds over much of the Southern California into Northern California areas over the weekend. So it'll be pretty interesting to see that. And it's all being driven once again by the jet stream way up to the north, allowing all that warm air to come up from the south. Also at the same time, hot and humid conditions and more thunderstorms across the eastern half of the country. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow in the northern sections, partly cloudy skies at Barrow, mostly sunny skies in the Nome and Fort Yukon areas. Here in the interior, just about what we had today. Again, isolated showers at Healy, but mostly sunny skies in Fairbanks. Over southeast Alaska, well, it looks like cloudy skies in Juneau, but showers are likely in the Ketchikan area. And over to the southwest, we're looking at mostly sunny skies at Bethel, scattered clouds for Cold Bay, and also Kodiak Island. And over the south central regions, looks really good there. Mostly sunny skies for Anchorage, partly cloudy skies at Homer and Valdez. And time, once again, for our pollen count, brought to you by the good folks at the Tanana Valley Clinic. Again, trees have grown to the high level problems there, and medium levels for mold. Otherwise, weeds and grass looking pretty good. And also a reminder, our weather alert, a red flag warning is continuing for fire risk over much of the interior, and the flood watch continues for the Tanana River and for all the tributaries, including the Chena River. So keep that in mind. Here's your forecast for tonight. 54 degrees, the overnight low, scattered high clouds. Tomorrow's forecast looks like it just like today, 82 degrees. Another day with lots of sunshine, and the temperatures will slowly cool off heading into the weekend. But now the showers are going to hold off through the weekend into the first part of next week. That looks pretty good. Still 70 degrees, above normal for this time of year. And overnight lows also continuing above normal. 50 degrees, dropping down to about 45. But all in all, very nice weather, and especially for the weekend coming up.
It's going to be a good weekend, yeah. It's going to be good.
Yep.
This is great.
I know. What does there say about that except for wonderful?
Yeah.
Bueno.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that will wrap up this edition of the Fbx Evening News. We're glad you could join us.
And tonight on NBC Nightly News, more dangerous weather in the Midwest and more incredible pictures of tornadoes up close. That's next with Brian Williams.
Yeah. Join us here 6 days a week or online anytime at web711.com.
And from all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a great night.
Good night.